I asked you to give me a bunch of ideas that I will all record in a single recording session. These videos will release every 2 days. This is recording session number 6, which means that we are at the Garly suggestion. Garly, that suggestion is real good. And I should probably duck, because like it's a long one, you know, it's a long one, it's a big one, it's the biggest one I've ever seen.
Hello, welcome to what I call a new video. Today we are going to be talking about the Deltarune Powerscaling Fight Club. I really need to train my left arm to do that. Yeah, I can't do it. I'm a righty. What a weird way to start it anywhere. The Fight Club, where I will power scale each and every one of the people in the Deltarune. And by each and every one of the people, I mean the main cast. Cast? What's wrong with me? Oh. Shouldn't have drank water between recordings. So who's the main cast in my mind? Well, we got Kris, we got Susie, we got say, but I wrote Pal say instead. Let me fix that real quick. King, Devil, Queen, Southampton, Titan, Tenor. I love Tenor. Tenor is awesome. Pop champion, some may say. The Knight, the Roaring. We got the Roaring Knight. Yeah, we gotta get the full title in there. We got the Roaring Knight, and we got Gerson. So we gotta power scale these people to see who wins. So now let's do this like a fighting tournament. And by fighting tournament, I mean we don't do it like a fighting tournament. We instead go through every single character and then say if they beat them or not. We do it one by one. I firstly lay out the contenders' abilities, and then I fight, then we fight with Susie and then the Rousey, you know the drill. So first we gotta start with Kris Deltarune, famous for holding a sword and not holding the sword for real, because all they are is a vessel for me to control, cause I am that guy. However, a fun fact about Kris Deltarune is that they like to rebel. So if they fighting someone they don't want to fight, cough, they do less damage. Which is unfortunate for someone who's supposed to be a good vessel. This motherfucker, this non-binary bitch, this hen-bean fuck is not very good at being a vessel. And so, we may have disagreements, some miscoordination, but what can Kris actually do? They, have not killed a single thing, and have no feats to speak of. They can make a dark fountain, but everyone else can do that too, who has determination. So, I guess these two can make one. Yeah, they're not that great. They got a sword, which I guess is something. Let's go through. Okay, so Kris versus Susie. And the way we're gonna do it, we're gonna go through every single one and give Kris each point of what they could beat. So Kris versus Susie. Now Kris has the coordination, has the advantage. See, Susie has got to hit, and the player on Kris is actually gaming, kinda. I'm a gamer. I'm a little bit of a gamer, and I'm the player, so I'm not gonna get hit that often. However, the problem is that Susie, is way more powerful. It's way more powerful than Kris. Like Susie can go mano-a-mano with the Titan. Kris can't do that. Kris loses. Now Rousey, that's an easier fight. Rousey is focused on healing. Also, Susie's got that determination. Susie's got that willpower. Susie's got that charisma. Susie's got that main character energy. And so, Susie wins, because I like her more. Main character. She just wins. Kris versus Rousey. Now Kris, this one's a little bit easier for Kris, I gotta say. Kris has a sword, Kris has the initiative advantage. However, Rousey's got that fluffy boy in him. Rousey is mostly a supportive character, healing everyone from the back lines. If it's a mano-a-mano, a 1v1, this gonna be a little difficult for Mr. Rousey. And I got something to say. Rousey, you got that dog in him. He got that dog in him. You may not see it, but I do. Them gold ears looking suspiciously dog-like. So even though Kris has got the advantage, Rousey got that dog in him. Rousey ain't a traitor. Rousey self-deprecating. Rousey know his place. And Kris don't know their place. Kris don't know nothing. And so, who would win? A offensive motherfucker that don't know their place, or a motherfucker that knows exactly what he's supposed to be? That's right. He's the one without faults. Mindless killing machine. See, King actually beat the Lightner's ass in chapter 1, and they got saved. So naturally, King's got that. Like, imagine being a traitor and then going against someone who desperately believes in their own beliefs. Like, King believes in himself, in the knight, in his ideology. Kris doesn't believe. Kris is doubting themselves. Kris is hugging a darkener at the end of chapter 5. Kris clearly doesn't know what is going on, and so that's a victory for the King. Same goes for Jevil. Jevil is even stronger than the King, but he also knows exactly what he's supposed to be. He sees freedom in confinement. Everyone but himself is not free, and therefore the Jevil just wins. Kris can't do nothing about it. Kris is conflicted. Kris don't know nothing. Kris is a traitor. A traitor cannot win. A traitor cannot win against anyone. It cannot win against anyone. Kris can't win. Queen's gone full character. Queen already knows that all of her fighting was for the wrong reason, so she would not have a collapse of ideology. She already had an ideological collapse, and now she's completely fine with it. So a completely fine queen fighting for her own merit instead of the merit of a suspicious knight, that is a power-up, in my opinion. And Queen, she can get into a mecha queen. She can absolutely annihilate Kris with every single thing of her damn arsenal. You really think that Kris, the traitor, the verräter, the fucking bitch, can do anything to stop her? You're a fool. You are foolishly foolish. Spencer! What can he do? He's just a middleman. He's just a middleman. That's wrong. You see, Metatron Neo spanked the Neo. That's high the attack right there. And if you are being real fucking stupid about it, Mettaton and Spamton Neo are city level. Because you see, at the end of the fight, the city that was going on in the background disappeared. So clearly, he destroyed it. Meaning that his sheer presence, his sheer will, is able to destroy a city. Meaning that Kris cannot possibly sustain a battle against Spamton. Now, if you were saying, but they obviously did in the weird route. But no! They had X-Slash, which they only get by standing next to a duck fountain. Which in this is not permitted. That is an outside interference. And so, not happening. Tenor! I'm gonna be honest. Tenor a weak motherfucker. Keep it about 50. Kris does more damage to Tenor if Kris is annoyed. So, after chapter 3, the current Tenor who's happy with Mettaton fighting Kris, who has probably calmed down. Ain't no way that Kris still has that boost. And Tenor knows exactly what he's fighting for. He's fighting for Mettaton's attention. And as someone who's fighting for Mettaton's attention, you already know that's a victory for Tenor. I put it on Titan. Well, the Titan also wins. I don't really need to put that, I don't really need to explain that one. That you can see 3 Titans in the prophecy and they can destroy the world. So that's 1/3 of the destroyer right there. Also, high phone notification that is telling me that someone pinged me on Discord when someone said just damn. Cool, love that notification. Anyways, we in the fucking thing we saw 3 Titans being able to destroy the world. This Titan is all grown up. Well, technically you can also say it's a baby Titan, but there's actually no low explanation that this is a weaker Titan than there usually is. So, despite what everyone may tell you on Reddit, because a lot of people told me that this is a baby Titan and that's why he's so easy to defeat, but actually there is no law implication of that being the case. And so, we're gonna assume that the Titan is fully functional, meaning that the Titan cannot possibly be beaten, because that is 1/3 of a World Destroyer. And Kris is a Verräter, ein kleiner Hosenscheißer, der nicht weiß, wie man Befehle befolgt.
Roaring Knight, let's be honest here. This motherfucker can swoon Kris immediately.
Ein Verräter can't do shit! Can't do shit against Hope! Can't do shit against Pink! Can't do shit against nothing! Against everything! Hope against Kris! Hope against despair! Hope against the defined future! That's what Gerson is. That's what Kris will never be, because Kris is a beta cock. Kris can't win nothing. Kris can't win nothing. Susie the main character, that's why she win against Railsay. Susie the main character, that's why she win against King. Susie the main character, that's why she win against Cheryl, Queen, Spanton, Tanner. Then we get to her mentor. The mentor Gerson. Mentor Gerson, I'm gonna be honest. Gerson's Hope. She needs to learn it. She needs to learn it still. That's why she loses. She loses to the hope, to the mightiness of Gerson Boom. That's it. That's the thing. I am not one to make the rules, I don't make them. But I'll say it all the time. Gerson Boom. But whom does Ralph say? You may ask. Well, he's a king. He's a racist. A bastard. He's a racist darkner who doesn't care about his own son. Well, he does, but he doesn't. He shot him off a roof. Even if you know that something will survive being thrown off a roof, that doesn't mean you should be throwing it off a roof. And as such, this goes to Ralston. Gerald knows nothing. Gerald's entire brain is mushier and washier than my penis, and as such, that's another LCW. Queen's got that bosom, so she wins. Spanton's mine, nothing compared to my fluffy fuck. That's right, he's my fluffy fuck now. I made up with him. He no longer a bitch, he my fluffy motherfucker, which means he gets another W over Spanton. Man, fuck you, I see you at fuck you. Tanner. He a motherfucking minigame machine. He Mario fucking win.
Gerson though.
Roaring Knight. Don't you look at me. Don't you look at me thinking I'm gonna give the knight a point? That's a fraud! Imagine being the big bad of the game and getting absolutely annihilated in chapter 3. First time you show up and you lose. That's not how you make a villain, that's how you make the fraud. And that fraud is on watch with Railsay.
Titan.
The king. Jevil's got their king. I'ma be honest, king. You a racist motherfucker. Racist motherfucker. Racist motherfucker. Racist motherfucker. Racist motherfucker. Racist motherfucker. However, you do the bidding of the knight, meaning the knight is the CEO of racism, which means Austin 316 says you just whooped his ass. Jevil against Queen. Queen's got dead on. Spanton against Jevil. Spanton won the popularity contest. Titan against Jevil. Titan, because Jevil is not an interesting character. Tenna against Spanton. Clearly Tenna. Why? Because Tenna has an actual backstory that doesn't rely on a single other person. Gerson against Jevil, that's a Gerson W right there. Why? Because Gerson is the GOAT. He the ones. Roaring fraud against the Jevil man. He CEO of racism, of fraudism, of every ism that ever existed except equilibrialism. And that is why there's a W for Jevil. Queen against Spanton. Oh, it's easy. She has boobs. Against a Titan. Against Tanner, it's so easy. She was way more enjoyable on the screen. Her chapter was way better. Easy. Gerson, Roaring Knight. CEO of racism does not win. Racism doesn't pay. Spanton against the Titan. Spanton against Tenor. Now that's a little think tank, that's a little thinker. Now how do you do Spanton versus Tenor? The divorcees, the unfunctional relationships. See? Spanton has gone mad first. Gerson, the Roaring Knight, the Roaring Fraud. Roaring Knight wasn't on the call. Spanton only ever lost to the man on the phone. As such, wouldn't lose to the Knight. Because the Knight cannot speak. The Knight can only scream. And it will scream for mercy. Because that's a thief. Spanton W. Titan, Tenor, Roaring Knight. Gerson, you know what? Tenor against the Roaring Knight. It's so easy. It's so easy. The fraud, the fool, the foolishly foolish fool who can't even do nothing. Don't make me laugh. Get that shit out of here. That's a Tenor W. Meanwhile, Gerson. And now, the fight we all been waiting for. Roaring Knight against Gerson Boom. The Fraud Meister against the pinnacle of hope. You really think it's gonna end any other way? You really think it's gonna end any way from Sunday? Nah, it ain't happening. Cause what's gonna happen? Ooh yeah, it's the fact that it's gonna be a perfect 10 for Gerson Boom. Yeah. And let me tell you something, brother. My feet, those absolutely goddamn hard. Cue the clown.